What's going on, guys? Good morning to you. I want to specifically speak about something that it's been bothering me lately. I've brought it up to management's attention, and I've talked to other dealerships as well, and their managers and supervisors have basically said the same thing. If you're a technician and you work at a dealership, then you know exactly what I'm talking about when I start to talk about this. One of the things that bothers me the most is we get used cars in the shop. People trade stuff in, they buy from other dealers, they buy it outright without even, with the customer not even buying a vehicle to replace it, because this dealer simply has a high market for that type of vehicle and they're offering the most money for it, where another vehicle may be several $1,000s less and not have the same market for selling that vehicle. Anyhow, sometimes we get screwed, and sometimes management looks like a bag of ass because they purchase a vehicle and they don't know the history of it. Here, for instance, I'll speak on this. Recently, there was a BMW 2014 or 2015 650i, 650. I think it's 650i, 650iL. I think it was just an I. It was the more basic 650, but those are the sportback looking ones. They're real sporty and they're kind of cool looking, but at the same time they're just junk. And they took this thing in. It only had 92,000 miles on it, and it was given to me for the inspection. I start looking over this thing and I'm like, man, this has and I'm familiar with these BMWs to an extent. This thing has a really, really, really bad oil cooler assembly leak. It's where the top mounted oil filter, and it goes into a whole housing that bolts to the front of the engine, and it's got multiple connection points and lines and stuff going to it. It's just an absolute nightmare sometimes to deal with those things if you're not familiar with all the intricacies on how things need to come apart and go back together. I tell them it's like a 4.5 hour job. Some people might even charge 5 hours for that job. It's leaking all down the front of the engine where it bolts to the front of the block, and they're like, oh, come on, man. And I said, it's not all, though. The N55 valve cover is leaking as well. It's just pouring out along the side of the engine that goes down to the, towards the exhaust manifold, the turbo and stuff. And they're like, do you guys have any good news? And I said, no, none at all. The oil pan's leaking. It needs to be resealed. That's another common thing on those. Both CV axles on both sides are blown out, and that's not an easy job on those. If I remember correctly, there's several hours to do it because there's a lot that has to come apart, and both sides are blown out. The power steering pump is whining because the fluid has dropped low, and the fluid for this is very expensive, so that either the pump is leaking or a line is leaking somewhere. Steering rack is leaking, but it's when you start it up, it's so that's that fluid's low, and it's aerating, and it's making that pump scream. And that fluid is like $20-30 a quart plus. So I'm basically giving them the rundown on all the stuff that's wrong with this thing, and it ends up coming out to like almost 15 hours worth of work plus. And I said, that's not even it though. There's a brake warning sensor light on, and 9 times out of 10, whoever did the brakes before just pad slapped it or did pads and rotors and never changed the sensors out because they didn't think they needed to, and you absolutely should. Especially if you gave the vehicle time to make contact with the sensor in order to ground out and set the pad warning indicator, you definitely need to change that sensor out. If you can catch it early enough, I would still probably change it anyway, but you don't necessarily need to. Well, obviously this one had issues. I said, that needs to be done. There's 2 wheel studs that are missing from the thing as well. There was a couple things. There was some kind of plastic panel or something that was out of adjustment majorly, and I was like, guys, you're talking close to 20 hours worth of work for this thing, and it ain't worth it. 20 hours worth of work at a door rate of $219 an hour, which because it's sales, they give them a break. I think they give it to them for like $175 or that's a lot of money. And then on top of that, the parts and stuff, what did you purchase the vehicle for? I said, well, because it's a BMW, they normally have really good resale rate, and normally somebody buys these sporty looking BMWs right away. We gave them like a premium price for it. I said, what's a premium price? I said, well, we gave them $8,000 for the BMW. And I said, oh my God, man, this thing is a total wreck. It's like, it needs a new AGM battery. There's not AGM battery. It needs a new battery. It needs a bunch of stuff. And you know how this could have been avoided? And they're like, how? I said, when these cars get traded in, they come in from auction, they come in from other dealers, why don't you let us pull them into the shop? Normally the alignment rack is open. It's not that hard. Pay us a half hour. Let us run it on the lift real quick and jot down everything that we see. Let us drive it around the parking lot, around the block a couple times to feel if we feel any brake pulsation or suspension taps and stuff like that, and get it up in the air on the alignment rack and look real quick, and no fluids pissing out of everything. CV axles are good. For the most part, it looks like a decent vehicle. That half hour could have saved us so much money. You could have taken all these repairs and tied it up into the actual cost of the vehicle and been like, man, there's just, at 90-some thousand miles, there's just way too much stuff that has to be, I can't give you a premium price for this vehicle. At $8,000, I could go out and buy one like that maybe even if it's just a couple $1,000s more, I could buy one that's in 10 times better shape. And I could have saved you guys a lot of money had you have come and said, hey, this is what I see. Here's a quick breakdown. Here's a list of what I've got going on. I went on all data real quick. This is what it's going to take to fix it. This is about the generic part price that's in there. I don't even have to go to parts to figure it out. I can just look in all data because it actually gives me the price of the part as well and how long it's going to take to do it. I could have just gave you a quick rundown and just rounded everything up to the nearest, like, you know, $10. So if it was like $5.39 or if it was $5.32 or something, I could have just said, you know, it's going to be $5.30 or it's going to be $5.40, and we could have done easy, quick math and then added, like, you know, I don't know, 10% to it and said, okay, this is what it's going to cost us for tax, you know, title plates, all that other stuff. And we could have got a rough idea on what it was going to cost. The thing that bothers me is you guys never do that, and you shaft us. Then we pulled this garbage ass vehicle, and it takes extra long to inspect it to try to find out everything that's going on. Then we write up this giant itemized list of everything that needs to be replaced and all the work that needs to be done. And then we piss off parts by sending it through, and it's a vehicle that they're not familiar with, and they got to get on the phone, and then they got to call AutoZone, and then they got to call the dealer, and they got to try to source all the parts and get all the prices. And it just takes 10 times as long for you then to come back after the process is all said and done and be like, oh, well, you know what? We're not going to approve any of the work. Just wholesale. We're going to wholesale the thing. And then it goes to the back of the lot for wholesale. But you never take it off online. And somebody sees it online. And then you take it from wholesale and you switch it over to retail and you sell the car, knowing darn well that all of these problems are wrong with this thing. But then the customer sees the brake light on, and he says, "Man, I don't like that brake light." He says, "Well, the brakes are new. It probably just needs a, you know, something reset real quick or something." They come back to me. They say, "What does it need?" And I said, "At minimum, it needs new brake sensors on both calipers." That BMW does the same thing other manufacturers do. They just put one sensor on one side, one sensor on the opposite side. They don't put it on all four calipers. They just use one side to determine how the brakes are wearing, which is not a good idea, but that's how they do it. Okay, fine. What's that going to cost? I don't know. Maybe $100 for a set of sensors. I'm not sure. Maybe a little less. BMW can sell them as a kit. So went down to BMW, actually got the BMW ones, installed it on their brake light went out. Take the man out, show him the vehicle. He drives it. Mind you, this thing is screaming from the power steering pump. It's growling going down the road. You can hear the tires are just a cheap tire that is not for a BMW, and you can just hear how they're rolling friction and just the crappy tire condition in general. Not that they're worn uneven, they're just cheap and they're hard. You can hear everything resonating through the suspension, the wheels and stuff. And the guy drives it and he's happy with it, and he's like, I kind of want to treat myself. Well, they're going through the process of signing everything over, and the guy's going to buy the vehicle, and then he backs out. So then it goes back to the back of the lot. We're going to sell it wholesale. We're not going to sell it retail to a customer. Next thing you know, they never pull it offline. Another customer comes in, they're interested in the vehicle. They want to drive the vehicle. So then they're trying to drive the vehicle, and the customer says, "Oh, I don't like how pitted the rims and stuff are. Can we do something about that?" So then they take it out. They spend like, you know, $300 or $400, $500 of a guy that, you know, does all the powder coating. He does it quick. It's cheap. He does a decent job, actually. And he only charges like $300 or $400 for a set of rims to powder coat. So he goes out and he gets them powder coated and stuff. Everything's done. Vehicle's starting to look a little better, but all the stuff underneath is cosmetically everything's looking great. There's no lights on the dash. There's no warning, no nothing. But the customer has no idea of what's going on underneath the vehicle. None of the nightmare that he's going to have to ensue after he purchases this vehicle. So I think they ended up selling the vehicle for like 10 grand, and because of the inspection and the oil change and all the other stuff that was put into it at minimum, they didn't make any money on the car. They just wanted to unload it and get rid of it. What I don't understand is why these dealers don't let a technician just pull it in 20, 30 minutes, let him look over it real quick and just come up with a quick list of what he sees so you know what you're working with. And then you could pull it in and do a final inspection once it's all said and done, and go through it real thoroughly. This is just a once-over initial inspection, you know, and I don't see people doing this. I don't see dealers doing this at all. I was just on the phone with a Ford dealer not too long ago, and I was asking questions about an Aviator that we had traded in, and the customer previously, this is another one that grinds my gears, another vehicle recently, and I was like, why are you guys doing this? Why don't you let us look at these vehicles first? This is literally going to cost you thousands upon thousands upon thousands of dollars to fix. And they're like, what are you talking about? And I was like, this is a 2020 Aviator. Do you know how many problems the Ford Explorer and the Aviator had whenever they were built in 2020? It was a freaking laundry list. You should always come to me first, especially with me being a certified Ford specialist. You should always come to me first when you're purchasing these vehicles and be like, hey, what do you think about this? I am the used car journeyman tech. Why would you not come to me, especially with me being completely Ford certified? And they're like, what do you see with it? I said the front axle disconnect is leaking all down the belly of the SUV. There's oil everywhere. There's either options where we can replace the O-ring because there's no clutch codes, or we can just put the whole new axle assembly and stuff in there. Oh, by the way, the axles are also blown out on this thing. There's a technical service bulletin out for that, where the bellows actually break at the clamp that holds everything on, or holds it in its spot. It breaks and it slides back and starts slinging the grease all over the place. There's literally grease everywhere inside the wheel well. The CV axles are blown out. The front axle disconnect actuator is blown out, or the seal's leaking all down the bottom of it. Hopefully the gearbox isn't destroyed because it's leaked so much. The catalytic converter is not only cracked on the flange at the top on the driver's side, but both welds that go all the way around the body of the catalytic converter, top and bottom, is cracked in 2 or 3 different spots on both of the welds. On the passenger side, the catalytic converter is cracked on all those welds, not up at the flange, but down in the actual welding spot in the body. It's cracked. Then the flex pipe that makes all the noise underneath, it's making noise, and it's also cracked. It needs a battery, which is buried underneath the cowl. It tests horrible. And the list goes on and on and on. And I said, all these things need to be addressed. And if you would have came to me first, because now this vehicle doesn't have any coverage on any of this stuff. If you would have came to me first, let me pull the vehicle in, let me do a quick 15, 20 minute inspection, I could have came up with a list of what needed to be done real quick, gave it to you, walked away, not even bothered you in your sale or whatever it is that you were doing, taking your trade in, and been like, here, it's like $1,800 for the catalytic converters plus. And then the white pipe is another $400. And then the front axle disconnect is another $1,000. And then the CV axles are another $600. And plus, all the labor that goes along with it. So we're talking probably $3,000 or $4,000 worth of work here just to get this vehicle right, to go out on the road for somebody to drive. Oh no, that's okay then. We'll just wholesale it. Customer comes by, sees it online, because they never take the fucking thing offline. They always leave it online as if it's a retail vehicle, even though they're going to wholesale it. Stop doing that crap. It's exactly why we get bad reviews. It's exactly why when those people buy the vehicle, they come back a week later, 2 weeks later. Then you know how it is. You other techs out there know exactly how it is. The general manager or the service manager of the facility, more than likely the general manager or the sales manager, oh, bring it right in and we'll take care of it right away for you. And then they bring it in the middle of the freaking day when you're slammed with work, and what do you have to do? Stop doing what you're doing to try to make this person happy, push all your other work back, or get into a fight with your service advisors or service manager because you don't want to do that. And then you got to fight with your general manager because he told him to come in, or a sales manager did. And it's like, dude, schedule this stuff accordingly, man. Stop taking me off jobs that I'm making money because you're selling cockamamie shit out the door that has nothing to do with my work ethic. I've given you guys a collective report on what needs to be done. You guys chose not to do it. You don't want to have them pre-inspected before you give them money and stuff down, so you feel like you're losing your ass. That's your fault. You guys are in this for, I want to see the gain right now, but a month from now, or a week from now, a month from now, 6 months from now, that's when we'll have to answer for the problem. When the customer's like, what the hell, man? This all came from your dealer, and I'm just now finding out there's so much wrong with this car. Why didn't you do anything about this? This should be illegal to sell components that are defective, that are especially emissions compliant. But you still sold it anyway. Like, that doesn't even make any sense. And then you put the technician on the hook, and he's got to jump through hoops to make you look like the good guy and get everything fixed. Dealers, quit taking fucking wholesale cars and putting it in the wholesale area and then switching it over to detail when the dollar signs pop up, when you got some sucker standing in front of you that doesn't care what the vehicle sounds like. They just want to buy it. And then you're promising them the moon, the stars, and the sun. I've heard it happen time and time again where this vehicle is sold as is. It is used. It does have some things that are going to need to be adjusted and fixed in the future. Oh, yeah, but it's safe to be on the road. So they buy it, and then a week later they're complaining about something, and what does the sales manager or the general manager do? Oh, that's fine. Bring it right in. We'll take care of it for you. You literally just told them it's sold as is. Why are you shooting yourself in the foot, for one? Because you know you did wrong to begin with for selling the thing, and you were interested in that instant gratification. And number two, now you're going to inconvenience the tech when that shit shows up in the middle of the day, and we're going to have to jump through hoops to try to get your shit taken care of. Stop doing that. Stop selling vehicles in that kind of condition. Stop selling vehicles that are supposed to go to wholesale and putting one on the retail lot, or selling them retail, and then we look like a bag of ass when the customer finds out all these problems and stuff are wrong with it. And this happens every day, all day. I was literally talking to one of the managers. One of the front end managers of one of the dealers, and she was telling me, she was like, I don't know why they do that. I honestly don't. I don't know why my dealer does that. I don't know why other dealers that I've worked at, why don't they let the techs do like a quick 15, 20, 30-minute inspection real quick, just to kind of see what we're working with and what we're going to actually accept or offer for trade-in value versus, well, this is what the book says right now, in worst condition it's worth $8,000. Instead of like in bad condition or in the worst condition or in semi-good condition, this thing is only worth like $5,000 with all the work that needs to be done, or $4,000. I've seen them take vehicles that were, oh my God, I don't know how many dealers it's been. A vehicle will come in and it's driving perfectly fine. It just has high miles on it. Have like 160,000, 200,000 miles on it. And it drives absolutely immaculate. It's just great. They give the customer $100 for the vehicle. $200 for the vehicle. $500 for the vehicle. And the vehicle could easily be sold private party for, like, even if you shorted yourself, $3,000, $4,000. But they accept it because they want to get into a vehicle really bad. They have bad credit, whatever it may be, and they know the dealership's going to do whatever it takes to put them in something. And they take what they think is the lesser of two evils and end up screwing themselves in the long run. These are the shenanigans that happen inside a dealer that you guys normally don't get to hear about or don't know about. Well, now you do. Y'all be blessed. Take care. Love y'all.